Greetings, chat. Are you ready to go on another adventure with Hassan Piker in the land of Cuba? Now, again, I made a video yesterday, and I showed you guys how he embarrassed himself, and I generally didn't think it's possible to like embarrass yourself even further, but I underestimated Hassan, so. We're going to see what he did today. There's around 3 different viral videos. My favorite one, and I'm going to show you guys in a bit, is where him and his entire VIP congregation is in a bus with their smartphones out, videotaping the people of Cuba as if they're animals. Again, like that picture belongs in a museum. You unironically see like all these individuals outside because there's no electricity. And Hassan Piker in a bus with all of his streamers, they have like their expensive iPhones out, and they're filming. It's kind of like a safari trip, you know. It's kind of like going around in the jungle to see the animals. And then he goes around and tells Americans, it's like, yes, communism is so good. Like, don't you guys wish we had that here? Oh, never mind, we have it in Detroit. But like, wouldn't you wish it was everywhere? Don't you want to benefit from that? Because I want you all to be poor so that I can be in a bus in America and film you guys as well and your families and everyone that's outside. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can find this picture. Usually, I don't like starting with the title because I wait for more people to come on and before I can actually go into the meat of it. But maybe I'll make an exception now. Hold on, let me see. Oh shit, I think I closed it. It's not on Twitter yet. Ah, never mind, I found it. Holy shit, this is so good. Yeah, look at this one. Look at this one, chat, right? So again, like, this belongs in a museum. Like, I wish like America would have the Museum of Communism and Social Justice and have like pictures like this everywhere, because I want my children to see it. Okay, so you have like all the Cubans out because there's no power, there's no electricity, and Hassan was basically saying in a video yesterday how amazing it is because it's a beautiful day outside and everyone gets to enjoy it. You know, that people don't care that there's no electricity, everyone is out and is partying. And here you have like these the VIP congregation, right? The happy bus of champagne socialists going around. And notice how, like, none of them have colored hair. Like, this is another thing. Like, this is a luxury item. Like, in communism, the idea that you can color your hair doesn't even go through people's minds because they're worried about, like, what am I going to put on the table. You need to understand, like, when there's no electricity, there's no jobs. That's the main issue. Like, most work environments require electricity to function. Like, if you don't have office, you cannot take credit. If you don't have an office, right, you cannot work there. Credit cards don't work. ATMs don't work. Like, electricity is important not just for people to sit at home play Dota. It's actually important for people to get a job. And without job, people starve, right? So you have, like, these chuckleheads with their iPhones and smartphones, like, literally videotaping the people like they're in some sort of safari. Notice how, like, no one has smartphones on the streets, right? Why? Because there's no power there. Like, they don't have electricity to charge it. And then you have, like, these people making all these Twitch videos and saying how great it is. And it's like, motherfucker, you're paid. Like, there is no other explanation. Any type of other human being, like, if I had a communist in my family and I took him to Cuba and I showed him that, he wouldn't say positive things about Cuba. He may actually say something like, well, you know, like, communism can work, but, like, okay, the Cubans didn't get it right. But, like, after seeing this, you wouldn't say that. I mean, look at the place as well, you know? This is the Eastern European thing. Like, when we were under communism, we used to have that. The moment we left off communism, we stopped having this shit. You know, houses in disrepair, things that look like they're crumbling. Because people, like, once they actually have capitalism and they have money, they don't want to live in houses like this. Like, they pitch in. They literally pitch in and they put some money and, you know, like, someone gets a job, does a paying job. It's not that expensive, right? When you're in a capitalist society. I mean, sure, you can have, like, some rundown neighborhoods here and there, but, like, this is the Eastern European gloomy vibe. Hassan, what are you doing, Hassan? Why you do this, Hassan? No, it's not AI. No, it's like, literally... The thing is, like, they don't have any clue of what they're doing. They're even posting their own shit. Like, they have absolutely no optics, because, again, they do not know how it is to be poor. Like, they cannot imagine what it's like to be on the other side of the bus. And so they generally don't think about it. It's like, well, I mean, my friend is going to congratulate me. Again, it's kind of like if you watch those documentary videos where you have, like, people going on a safari and interacting with, like, the locals and shit. It's literally that. SRC Maker is going to Las Vegas. Are you also going to be in a bus and film the people on the street? You should do that. Banks should just print houses. That will solve homelessness. You know what's interesting with homelessness? Like, this is another thing. And the left just doesn't understand this. I said this story many times, but I want to say it again, just so that people can understand that it's not always because of the systemic society. Sometimes it is. Like, sometimes people legitimately end up homeless because society has failed them. Sure, you know, like, there are people that genuinely want to work, they genuinely want to get a job, but they simply cannot find any. And so they lose their house, and then they end up on the streets, and on the streets they start doing drugs and drinking because there's nothing else to do on the streets, okay? So I understand those people. But there are other people, my brother in Christ. Like, we need to talk about the other people. So during the pandemic, there was a guy, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard the story before, but I haven't said it in a year, so I'll say it again because it just, like, blew my mind. I genuinely cannot believe that these types of people exist. So there was this guy during the pandemic when everyone is told to stay indoors, and if you go out, you get a massive fine. And this guy is on a horse, right? Like, he's walking in the middle of the city on a fucking horse. And obviously, he stands out. And so, like, the police goes like, hey, who is this guy? Why is he walking on a horse in the middle of the city? And apparently, he was from a rural area, but his wife was giving birth. And so, like, he didn't know what to do, right? Like, there were no cars, there were no taxis, there was COVID. And he literally just takes a horse and starts riding on the city trying to go to his wife. Now, people look up into him, right? Because he's in the news. Like, people dox him. They find out who he is. Apparently, like, this guy lives in a very poor rural area. Like, he doesn't even have a house that has connection to sewage and plumbing. Like, he's dirt poor, right? And so people felt bad, and they started pitching in money, and they managed to put together so they can buy a house for him. They managed to buy a house for him with 2 rooms. There was also, like, this K1 fighter in Romania, gave him a job, like, hired him as a bodyguard. People also pitched in money, got him a car. So, like, again, like, this guy, you know, like, he managed to hit the jackpot. Like, he was in absolute poverty, living in a shack. And all of a sudden, like, people, through their compassion and careness, not only get him money, but also got him a job. What happens? He sells his apartment, like, he sells the 2-room apartment stuff that he got, wastes it, goes back living into his shitty apartment, and doesn't show up for the job. And so you gotta understand, it's like, no, there are some people that genuinely do not want to be lifted up. Like, there is nothing you can do. There is not a fault of the system. There's nothing that the system can do in order to help those individuals. They don't want to be helped, right? Anyway, Jankus, thank you for covering this. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Because, like, I come from a communist nation, and I can't even imagine how my grandmother would have reacted seeing a twat like Hassan Piker. You know, especially when here in Romania, we were looking towards America as a capitalist nation that is fighting against communism, and they don't want people to live in the situations that we do. And so, like, the idea of seeing an American in a bus just filming you like you're some sort of jungle safari animal, and then going around and telling other Americans, no, actually, Romania is a great nation. There's nothing to improve there. Everything is so good that we should bring it here in America. Oh my fucking god. Like, seriously, I think, like, Romanians would lynch someone like that. There's no other explanation. It's like, if you do behave like that in a communist nation, you would get lynched. The only advantage that Hassan Piker has is probably the Cubans don't have electricity and they can't see the shit he's putting out. Like, that is literally his only saving grace. This is how he's going to get out of that nation alive. Like, Cubans do not have electricity now, so they can go online and see the shit that Hassan is posting. But I'm telling you, like, once they do, like, he's not going to be blacklisted from flying into Cuba, but if I was him, I would never fly into Cuba again. So, I don't know, like, how long the electrical power outage is going to last in Cuba, but I hope that Hassan leaves before the power comes back. Imagine the Hassans praising the Ceausescu's. Man, my blood goes boil. Like, if I can... An American just coming into Romania and praising the Ceausescu, holy shit. Like, it depends. If it's before the revolution, as long as he doesn't get into any dark alleys or, you know, like in any shady places where there's no securitate and no one can see what happens to him, then he's fine. If it's after the revolution, oof. Same with my grandma. We used to look forward to cornbread we got for lunch and alcohol from the government. I still haven't been able to replicate that cornbread. Well, it's true, actually. Like, communists made certain things that were very tasty. Like, you didn't have meat. You had soy salami. But I swear to God, like, that soy salami actually tasted better than anything we have today. So, like, it's the magic of communism, I guess. Like, you didn't get everything, but the stuff that you did get was good. Also, like, the shoes, right? Like, the shoes under communism. I don't know how the fuck they made them, but you didn't have, like, shoes for every occasion, right? Like, you didn't have sneakers, Adidas, you didn't have comfortable shoes. You had, like, working boots. You know, like, the boots of the worker that are for every situation. It doesn't matter where you're going, like, you get those boots with you. But they were some fucking sturdy boots. Like, the apocalypse can come. I'm pretty sure that if I go to my dad's garage, I can still find, like, some boots from communists. Like, they were so sturdy, so well done. Like, you couldn't destroy them. A fucking meteorite could come over Romania and those boots would still be there. But now you get a pair of boots and within, like, 1 year, if you're lucky, they're just not there anymore. Anyway, I got Boog, another person from Cuba. Jesus, I don't ask for much, but Hassan wants to get stuck in Cuba forever. I'll be the most pious man ever. Well, see, here's the thing, right? Like, Hassan Piker can actually live in Cuba for at least 5 years just fine. Like, if he gets stuck in Cuba, and I talked about this yesterday, like, the Cuban people can actually pillage Hassan. They can pillage Hassan and they can live off him for at least 5 years. And I'm not kidding, right? Like, Hassan can actually feed 5 Cuban people. So, we got the annual salary in Cuba is $156, right? So, just by looking at how much people make a year, right? Like, a year in Cuba, $156. Hassan's glasses alone, just his glasses, 1,300, right? So, like, again, if Hassan gets stuck in Cuba, he can still live like a king for a very long while until help arrives. I love this AI shit. Like, no, seriously, like, this is just ushkushi. This is very tsuyoi. Yeah, like, literally, this is what's happening in Cuba right now, right? Literally this. The only difference, I guess, is that the bus would look a little bit better. Like, this bus is too dirty. I don't think, like, Hassan and his VIP people would get into that. Bro, you ate soy salami, you didn't grow testosterone? You didn't grow tits? No, apparently you can actually drink, you can eat soy salami without growing tits. Like, this idea that, okay, yes, like, salami does affect the estrogen a little bit, but it's extremely over-exaggerated on the internet. Like, it sounds that if you eat even a little bit of soy, your testosterone is dead, your sex drive is dead. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. Sargon just talked about, on Lotus Eaters, about student loans in the UK, highlighting that Romanians are the main tanks in it. Well, apparently, in London, Romania is the second most spoken language. And so, I need to tell Sargon that I now have a stake in his country, right? I'm a stakeholder. That's what the World Economic Forum teaches me. So now when he says, oh, well, you know, or if you're not from here, you don't get to talk about British politics. It's like, no, sorry, Sargon. Sorry, no, Romania, number 2. We have a stake in your nation now. We're definitely able to talk about your elections, so shut the fuck up. You don't get to tell me to shut the fuck up. I tell you to shut the fuck up. Yeah, probably if you're guzzling soy milk every day, then that would be different. But like if you eat a soy salami, that's probably fine. Is it true that Romanian communist leader ended Romanian debt? Yeah, it's actually true. But like what they don't really say is the level of poverty that he managed to get Romania in order to do that. And of course, after he died, we got back in debt. And his economy wasn't sustainable. So like if he was to keep it going, right, without modernizing, Romania would have definitely not be competitive. And you can't modernize unless you go into debt. So the thing is though, like when it comes to nations, like no one actually expects you to pay the debt, right? Like no one expects you to be on zero. Like most nations borrow constantly. It's just how the world economic works, I guess. And there's like no nation on earth that goes with zero debt because there's no advantage to do that. So the fact that he did, and he made all Romanians like shiver in the cold. People died during winter because there was no heating, no medicine. Like all of that thing is what got him shot. So you should get a student loan from the UK government. Well, I'm actually pissed off, Sargon talks about that. He doesn't talk about the other facts. So in Romania, you have so many people that go to the University of Medicine. And obviously, like, we pay for that, right? Like, I pay 15% of my taxes for other people's education. And once they finish the education, they go and they work in the UK. So it's like, how is that fair? Like, why the fuck am I paying so that Britain can have British doctors? Like, if I get sick and I go to a hospital and there's no doctor there, or the doctor that I have is tired because he's been on watch for 32 hours because there's no other guy to replace him, how does that benefit me? I'm literally paying so some asshole gets to heal Sargon when he is old. It's like, I don't like it either. So, like, if Sargon could just send all of our doctors back, I would be happy. SRC Maker, thank you for the $10. I know soy fear is overblown, but I think the United States uses so much soy that it does affect kids. We use it in everything, just like corn. They feed corn and soy chickens. You see those US chicken beasts. Yeah, I know, like, the European Union actually buys a lot of soy from the US. It's like an insane amount of soy that you guys are selling to the EU. Kind of funny, but that's called the brain drain, and it's theft. Yeah, it is. But like, the thing is, I understand the doctor as well. Like, okay, you go to medicine, right, and you finish top of your class, right? And now you can work in Romania for $1,000 a month, or you can work in the United Kingdom for 4,000 British pounds a month. And the only thing that you need to do is to get on a plane and pay like $200 ticket, and now you're in Britain, you get employed 4,000 GBP, right? I don't blame the doctor. Like, there's no, the problem that I blame is the Romanian government. Like, no, if you finish Romanian university and you're being paid by the government to do it, then you should at least work 10 years in Romania before you're allowed to work somewhere else, or you should pay for your university. That's also fine. Just pay for your university. Japan eats a lot of soy. Well, if I'm not mistaken, like, the problem with Japan is that beef is very expensive there. Like, I understand cows have a difficulty growing in Japan, right? So, like, Japan is a nation that feeds a lot. They feed a lot on fish, rice. They have, like, one of the most expensive cow meats in the world. But, like, cows for mass consumption actually is a problem there. I don't know why, but I do know that people in Japan tell me that meat is very expensive. On the other hand, sushi is crippling expensive in Romania, but cow meat is very cheap, so. Oh yeah, beef is expensive in Japan because of mountains. Yeah. And pork? Well, like, Japanese people don't have pork? Okay, now I feel bad for them. Anyway. Right, so let's see what else Hassan Piker has done. This one is really interesting. So, give me a second. Yeah. So, the Cuban regime was forced to deploy armed security to protect Hassan Piker because he was living in a 5-star hotel with electricity while everywhere else in the country was in a blackout. And people didn't like that very much. When you see a guy filming prices, you know you're done fucked up. You know you're done fucked. Like, I have no idea about the Cuban economy, but when I see an angry guy with a camera, and you can hear it in his voice, like he is displeased. And when he goes and he films the prices, that tells me everything I need to know. Like, my Eastern European brain has instantly connected with the guy with the camera. Like, him and I are one. Like, he doesn't need to say anything. I just understood everything. I literally understood everything just by filming the prices. The little black bird with the prices. I'm like, okay. And you can tell the guy doesn't belong in there. Like, the way he's holding the phone, right? Like, he's not like Hassan, like a streamer. Ah, guys, what's right? And he's shoving the phone everywhere, right? Like, you can see that the guy is actually afraid of being there, because, like, the way he's holding the phone is mostly downwards. Like, hoping no one notices that he is filming on secret. Oh, he doxed him. He doxed him. See, like, this is the thing. Most people that film like this, with the phone being pointed down, they don't want to film it. Like, this is something that, like, these aren't people that normally go, like, hot exposed. These are average citizens that are absolutely disgusted over the fact that you have this American coming in. Everyone is under a blackout. And this American is promoting communism. He goes into a 5-star hotel while everyone else is in a blackout, and actually goes around and says shit like, oh, well, I mean, people are so happy without electricity. They're actually outside and they're celebrating, and it's beautiful weather. Yeah, I can see why people are pissed off a little bit. Do the Romanian Gen Z or millennials hate communism too? It's complicated. Not really. Like, you gotta understand. History doesn't give a shit of events that happened 100 years ago. And so, the more further you get from an event, the least likely you are to see people that hate it. So, like, if... and by the way, 100 years, because by 100 years, even the generation... Like, there's no generation that survives, right? So, you have, like, the original people that experience the event, and then you have the children that learn from their parents, and then you have the grandchildren that learn from the children and the grandparents, but the generation after that, like, they've never experienced the event. This is kind of why, like, a lot of conversations about the Holocaust are being reopened right now, because it's almost been 100 years. And so, like, when you are way too disconnected from something that happened, that you don't have, like, anyone in your family that experienced it or suffered from it, then it just becomes something abstract. It doesn't... It's kind of like talking about World War I, right? Like, today, no one finds World War I offensive in any way, shape, or form, right? Like, you can make any type of movie about World War I. You can talk about gassing people. You can show in a video game. No one cares, right? Because it's so long ago. Now, if you make a movie about 9/11, like, all of a sudden, if you're being offensive about 9/11, then it's viewed differently. But if you make a video about Pearl Harbor, no one cares, right? So, like, if you're asking me, do Gen Z care about communism? Not as much as they should. But it's normal. It's like, time passes, people forget. Mike Savage, welcome to the show. I'm still mad at the Venetians for the Fourth Crusade. Well, to be fair, like, Constantinople would have fallen eventually, but I do believe, yes, like, the Venetian thing on Constantinople was probably the main domino that set the course for all of the nasty shit that followed. American slavery is still viewed in the worst light. Yeah, like American slavery is being constantly propped up by institutions, and I also think that most people like legitimately don't give a shit, but it's a nice cop out. You know, like if you have the argument, give me free shit because X, Y, and Z, that people are going to say, give me free shit because X, Y, and Z. Not necessarily like they believe that it was so bad. Because, like, I'm pretty sure if I can get, like, African Americans next to me, and I tell them, look, you can press this button, and your great-grandfather would have never been a slave. Do you want to press it? I'm pretty sure, like, most of them wouldn't. In fact, if I had a time machine, if I have, like, a Make-A-Wish, and you make a wish so that slavery never existed, right? So, like, no one from Africa was taken into America. I guarantee there would be some African Americans that would strangle me to prevent me from pressing the button. And so, no, like, I don't believe that a lot of talk about slavery is, like, legitimate grievance and legitimate concern. It's more to do with the fact that, well, if you say these things, you get free shit. And so, of course, people are going to say these things. But you know what's also interesting, and they don't talk about this at all in America. I'm curious if they talk about this in Black History Month. Do you know that after the abolition of slavery, more than 1 million people died because of famine? I didn't know this. Like, I found it recently, and I was really, what the fuck? And apparently, yes. Like, after the abolition of slavery, many people couldn't find jobs, right? And they benefited more from being slaves than they benefited from being free people. Because as free people, no one would hire them. And so they literally died. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, why don't they say about that? Because the reason it's important is that they constantly talk about, oh, well, you know, like the founding fathers, like Jefferson had slaves. Why didn't Jefferson free the slaves? And it's because, well, actually, he did try to do that. And there were conversations on how to do it without people dying. And there were conversations like deporting them back to Africa, but they didn't, like back then it was actually a lot more difficult because you didn't have airplanes and shit. But it also like the diplomatic thing, in which country, what do we do? But the main issue is, like, yeah, like, if I was to be told, it's like, you sign this piece of paper and you free the slaves, but 1 million people die. Would you, like, unironically want 1 million deaths on your hand? Well, apparently Jefferson didn't, right? So, like, can we really blame him? I don't know. Maybe some do, but... African-American here. No, I wouldn't press the button, and a lot of us keep slavery talk alive. To explain why we don't own anything. And yes, you get free stuff. Yeah, again, Gary, I'm completely with you. As an Eastern European, like, I definitely feel what you're telling me here. Because, like, yeah, Eastern Europeans do the same shit. Like, if you know you say something and you get free stuff, you say the thing. It's not rocket science, right? Like, saying stuff doesn't cost you anything. So, of course, like, people are going to say whatever it is in order to get more gibs. I never abolished slavery in Europaea Universalis 4. It's a good commodity to have a monopoly. What I found interesting, though, is that there are different types of slavery, right? Because, like, every single time you talk about slavery, you think about the American cattle slavery. But that's not what the Romans did, for example. So I found, like, Roman slavery to be really fascinating. Apparently, the way that the Romans managed to maintain an empire and to make sure that people don't rebel all the time is to integrate them. And apparently they actually integrated them through slavery. Now, what does slavery in the Roman Empire mean? Well, apparently in the Roman Empire, a slave actually had rights. So if you got sick, your master literally had to hire a doctor to heal you. Right? Like, that's fucking insane. Like, slaves actually got welfare. Citizens didn't get welfare. Like, if you're a citizen, right, in the Roman Empire, you don't get a doctor. But if you're a slave, your master actually has to bring you a doctor. You actually get to own things. Like, as a slave, you have your own property, and if the master tries to take it away, you can sue the master. And apparently, like, there were several lawsuits, like big ones, where slaves would win, and they could sue their master. And what's interesting is that, for example, if you're a Greek and the Romans enslave you, you would basically be placed, let's say, in a shop, or you would be told to teach their children how to read and write. But you could buy your own freedom. So, like, many people, usually the slavery was like 10 years, and after 10 years you manage to buy yourself, and then you become a Roman citizen. It's like, what? Really? Like, that's fucking insane. So it's like, how is it different than a job then? Like, you're basically taken from a village where you don't have aqueducts, you know, people get sick from drinking from the well. You get taken from that village, you're being taken to the empire, and you're now in a city with shit like that, and you work in a shop, and after 10 years, you buy your freedom, and you're a citizen. Like, what? Really? Yes. Oh, well, I mean, but the thing is, like, it's completely different than the American one, right? Afrikaners took the idea from the Muslims. The Muslims practice a horrible way of slavery. Like, you'd get castrated. You get fucking castrated if you're a Muslim slave. See, like, this is the thing. Like, most people think America had more slaves. They didn't. The only difference is that America didn't castrate their slaves. But Muslims, they believed, well, like, in order to prevent slave revolts, in order to keep slaves more docile, and they would castrate them. Fucking insane. Anyway. Right. Closer to indentured servitude. Yeah, kind of like that. I would say, yeah, it was definitely, like, indentured servitude would be very similar to the, but, like, indentured servitude didn't give you, like, free healthcare, free housing. Because, like, that's another thing. Like, you couldn't just put the slave anywhere. Like, you literally had, legislation saying, like, what accommodations you have to give a slave. So you basically need to make sure that he at least has a space of his own. So you couldn't, like, just put him in a barrack. It's like, it's insane. Anyway, right. We only had, like, 5% of the slave trade in America. Probably. Still, whatever. The thing is, though, I'm pretty sure that slavery would have gone away by itself in America. That was, like, the trajectory anyway. And if Lincoln wouldn't have done it, I think, like, less people would have died. Like, if the slavery institution would have just phased out by itself, like it did in other places, I do think a lot less people would have died. But still, it's not for me to analyze, to judge, basically. You know, I'm Romanian. We never had slaves. It is what it is. But I want to show you something else. Speaking of slavery, this is the most batshit insane thing I've seen. So this professor in Britain is using Assassin's Creed to show children just how bad it was back in the day to work in the factories. And I'm thinking, what the fucking fuck? Like, even when I saw this game, I was thinking, this is so fucking retarded. Right? Like, this leftist-infested piece of shit of a game where you get to play as a strong, independent woman as one of the playable characters. And literally, like, there are hot women in the street acting like gang members. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, in this game, you go on the streets of London, and you see, like, these hot women with big tits going, "Hey, what you looking at? Hey, what you want?" And they come towards you, and it's like, what the fuck is this? Right? And this is the game that this guy chooses to use to lecture kids about working in a factory. And look at it. Look how serious he is. Okay, so hold on, my bad. He's not from the UK. Teacher goes viral for using the game Assassin's Creed. Where the fuck is he from? Like, his language is not English. So, is he French? Is he Spanish?
Carvão, tá? Eles usam carvão como, deixa eu ver aqui, ó, deixa eu pegar aqui, ó. Não é uma forma de carvão, eles usam carvão como energia, tá? Ó, o carvão, na verdade, é a energia que vai fazer.
You know what they don't tell when they show this shit? They don't tell that in this place there was no welfare. Okay, the Haber-Bosch formula wasn't even invented. Famine existed. And so, those kids had two opportunities. Number one, they die on the streets, literally, or they work in a factory. The fact that the video game has you rescuing these kids is fucking retarded, because I was always wondering, okay, you got them out of a job, now what? Now what? Like, where are they now? What are they doing? Like, are they going on the street for prostitution? Probably yes, but, like, the person making the video game didn't think it through. Because, again, like, there's a lot of people that apply modern institutions to the past, And it's almost like, well, you know, back then they also had welfare and they had the safety nets and everything. So like the government was oppressing them. No, it wasn't. Like literally, this was life or death. But like, let me put it this way, you know, at least that population had kids and was fucking, right? Like that population had positive birth rates. Our population doesn't. So like, what if we're doing it wrong? I'm not saying that kids should work in a factory, but like, think about what it means today, right? You have a child, and all the way up until he's like finishing university, like what, 24, 25 years old, you still have to pay for him. So you have a grown-ass man at some point, and because he's not working, he's at the university. It's not like he's lazy or anything. No, like he generally wants to get a university degree, right? And as he's doing that, you still need to pay for his gas, for the car, right? You gotta pay for his electricity, you gotta pay for his rent. Maybe he wants to go out, you gotta pay money so that he can fuck a bitch. You gotta pay so he can buy clothes. Like, you're literally paying for a grown-ass man, right? Back then, a child that was like the age of 12 already started working on a farm. By 14, he was already integrated in the community. Like, it was actually possible at 14 to get married, that you're the head of the household, that you have your own car and shit, and you can already think about starting a business. And so, like, people obviously had more kids. Naturally, right? Like, if having more kids means that after the age of 14, they're actually making money for themselves, and on top of that, some kids even kick money back to the parents, which is normal, because, like, that was my instinct. I wasn't asked, but, like, the moment I started making money, I was like, okay, well, my parents took care of me, now I want to take care of them, right? So, like, if you have 3 or 4 kids, all of a sudden, it's a family business. It's like, there is a financial incentive there. Now there is a financial disincentive from having kids. And it's not because, like, people care about money too much. No, but, like, it doesn't just lower your standard of living. Like, sometimes you literally can't afford it. Literally can't fucking afford it, you know? Again, like, you're literally paying for another person. And, you're paying until they're like 21, 22, 23 years old. And they have needs, right? Like, when you talk about the child, they don't have many needs. Like, when it's a little baby, okay, he needs diapers, he needs formula. Maybe he doesn't even get sick, right? So it's not that expensive. A 10-year-old is not very expensive. But a 20-year-old is incredibly expensive. He wants to go out clubbing. He wants to fuck a bitch. He wants, you know, right? Just normal needs that adults have. And you have to pay for that. Now imagine you have 5 kids. And so again, like when this person is showing this, like he's removing a lot of the context. Now we move away from, like, in order to get where we are, we had to go through this. And the thing is, like, I still don't know if where we're at is actually a good thing. We'll see, you know, time will tell. Like, if we don't have children and we're the last generation, then what? Was it a good thing? Probably not. The thing with video games is that it's not that they're not accurate necessarily. Like, after Notre Dame burned, they used Assassin's Creed in order to look at the architecture from the in-game Notre Dame to replicate the reconstruction, right? But the reason they did that is because, well, the game actually had a team of architects that did their best in order to simulate the Notre Dame. However, in this type of video game where you know that the writers were politically oriented and they had, like, leftist political leanings, to use their work as historical accuracy is retarded. And yes, that game does have side missions given by Karl Marx, so that's just an added bonus. Just show them Chinese working conditions. My boys worked on our farm and daughters babysat or cleaned elderly people's home. Again, like, the idea of child labor is very misunderstood. There were, like, works that children did that are absolutely dangerous and children shouldn't do, like working in the mines, right? But a 16-year-old working at a McDonald's flipping burgers, I don't think that's a problem. I don't think it's a problem if a 16-year-old works at a supermarket stacking crates or cleaning the floors. Especially when we're constantly told, it's like, well, there's the jobs that nobody wants to do. Well, when I was a teenager, I definitely wanted to do those fucking jobs. In Italy, people live at home till they're 30. But, like, here's the question. Do they actually want to live at home till they're 30? Like, what if they can't find a job, right? Like, can you blame a person for living with their parents if they actually want to find a job, but there's no jobs available? Because I don't think it's fair, you know? I don't think it's fair to judge people simply because the economy doesn't have a spot for them. And the economy doesn't have a spot for them because of immigrants. The kids cleaning chimneys. Yeah, that's a big nope. The kids cleaning chimneys is actually one of the first laws that came in Europe which banned child labor. And there's a really good reason for that. A lot of kids would get stuck. And apparently aristocrats don't appreciate when the chimney starts smelling of dead child. And apparently it was so horrible and it happened so many times that they banned the concept of kids sweeping chimneys. Anyway. I mean, look, you can definitely tell that the children yearn for the mines. What is the most popular game with kids? It's Minecraft, right? Like literally, you can't you can ban the child from going to the mines, but he still wants that's his vision. That's his fantasy to go in Minecraft. Anyway. Hassan explains why he's wearing expensive clothing in Cuba. And let's hear his explanation.
What's up, guys? I'm Hassan Piker. I'm here in Havana, Cuba, right now on a humanitarian aid mission alongside...
I mean, this is the most leftist shit. You know, humanitarian aid mission. What do? Film people. Talk to people. Okay.
Numerous other organizations, including but not limited to the DSA, and my goal...
Every single organization that he's with is illegitimate in my... Like for the same purpose... No, sorry. For the simple fact that you associate with Hassan Piker. I don't care... You know what your association did, what your agency did in the past. Like the very fact that now you're with Hassan Piker, zero legitimacy. Just zero.
Here today is to bring awareness to what my government, the United States of America, has done to the Cuban population.
Yeah. Again, bring awareness. $1,300 glasses, $3,000 rig, $695 shirt. And all of this in a country where people make $200 a year. Humanitarian. Humanitarian, yeah? Humanitarian. Wow. You know what? If my country ever needs humanitarian aid, please, for the love of God, do not send Hassan Piker here. Like, no, seriously, I'm not even kidding. Like, no matter how bad it gets. Like, even if we're getting genocided or some shit, I don't know, right? But whatever happens, do not send Hassan Piker here. Send him to the country that does bad things for us. How about that? You know, like, if there's a nation that ever does bad things to Romania, and Hassan wants to help, send him to help the country that does bad things to us. I would appreciate that more, I think. I hope that Trump cancels his visa. Well, unfortunately, Trump is not a dictator. The U.S. is still a nation that operates on the rule of law, so Trump just can't cancel his visa because he doesn't like his face, but, yeah. He is backpedaling so hard. It's... Man, like, again, as a person that actually went through communism and genuinely knows how bad it is, to see what Hassan is doing is triggering me. I have no other word for it except, yeah, it's triggering me. Listen to this.
Also, shouts out to the Hassan head at TSA that let me pass through without giving me too much grief, as I had wads and wads of cash on me. That was really funny. Because I walked through TSA and I got a fat stack on me.
Do you know why he has a fat stack on him? Because he knows that the power goes out and he needs actual cash, right? But the other interesting thing is, like, you're going to Cuba and you have a big stack of cash. Why? Why do you have a big... It's fucking Cuba, you know? You're going on a humanitarian aid. No, he's not going on a humanitarian aid. He's going on a vacation. In a poor nation, going into a 5-star hotel, enjoying all the luxuries, and then going into the United States and saying, yeah, what they have in Cuba, we should have here.
And it looks a lot more than it actually is because it's like small bills. That's what they told us. They were like, oh, like it's very, you should bring small bills and, just give people money, right? So
I'm actually curious, like, how much money did Hassan give? And this is another thing. You're not helping anyone if you give people money. I know it sounds cruel, but like it's true. You're not helping anyone if you give people money. You just feel good. The only thing you can help is if you start businesses, or you help people start businesses, or you employ people. That actually helps. But if you just go out and you throw money like you're the emperor, no.
I came in with this shit. Okay? And this is... It looks a lot more than it actually is, okay? So basically what...
They probably tried doing what that Chinese professor that Tucker Carlson had suggested, which is to print money so they get out of poverty.
Ended up happening is... What? Yeah. I walked in with a brick. It's not actually a brick. It's not actually a brick. Don't worry. But you are so lucky you got a fucking fan. I know, cuz he was looking at me like, he's like, "Bro, you're Hassan." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "What the hell is that in your hand? Is that just a brick? What the fuck?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, I'm going to Cuba. And, like, they're all small dollars. Like, don't worry. It's nothing crazy. Bro, you're going to get robbed? Brother, the money is for the people here, okay? So, like, if someone were to rob me of this money, that would be, like, I was going to give it anyway. You know what I mean? It's just, it goes to one guy.
So is this like the entire stream of Hassan Piker? Is this what he does? Like he shows, oh, I got a brick of cash and I'm giving it to the people here, but don't worry, it's not a lot of money. It's actually small dollar bills. And he says that. He says it doesn't matter that he gets robbed. I remember when he went to Mexico and some taxi driver took him for a ride. Like they realized that he's American and started like just driving him around and around so that he can charge him a lot. And Hassan was very pissed off. And it's like, why are you pissed off, Hassan? Aren't you like contributing to the local economy? Hassan shows off the wads of cash he peppered Cubans with. It's just... like, usually people that want to give money, they do it without bragging. I'm not even thinking it's a good thing to go to places and give people money, by the way. I don't believe that it helps. I don't believe that you're doing anything, but I know exactly why Hassan is wearing that much money. He has security off-screen protecting him. I wouldn't be surprised. Did you see Dev got dunked on by the trans community after saying nobody expected that a man can turn into a woman? I don't even know in what planet Dev is living on. I generally don't fucking know. Like, and I'm not saying this as an insult or anything. I'm saying it as an observation. Like, my brother in Christ, you're using the internet, right? You're using the same internet that everyone else uses. And we have been told so many times by trans activists that no, a trans woman is a woman. Like, they're very clear about this. It's not like a, you know, like them trying to trick you. Like, when they started saying a woman's penis, it became very obvious that, yes, like, they genuinely, unironically want people to believe that a trans woman is literally the same and indistinguishable in every fact with an actual woman, okay? And so when Dev goes and it's like, no, they just want us to pretend that they're women, when in reality, no, Dev, no. Like, you're going to get attacked. You're going to get attacked because, like, they view you as a far-right neo-Nazi when you say that shit. It's not rocket science, right? It's like trans woman is a woman. The end of the conversation. And so Dev is like, no, actually, no one really believes. It's like, no, Dev, the trans activists really believe. It's kind of funny, yeah, like, he's downplaying the crazies, but, like, the crazies are there, and the crazies don't want to be downplayed. You know, it actually reminds me of seeing an exasperated ISIS imam when you had, like, terrorist attacks in Europe. And you had, like, people on the news going around. It's like, well, it's not all Muslims. Like, Islam is the religion of peace. And then you have, like, that imam, like, desperately trying to explain, look, we hate, like we don't accept gay people. Like, the Quran is very specific on what we need to do to gay people. And it's like, the reason that there's terrorist attacks is because you're infidels. And he was, like, literally trying. You could see, like, the man dying inside. Like, he didn't know how else to explain it. Like he was, and this is exactly what I saw trans activists try to do to Dev. Like, they were exasperated. They genuinely were like, Dev, listen. No, we definitely believe that a trans woman is a woman. It's because he is emotionally attached to being a liberal. But he knows liberalism has failed. How exactly has liberalism failed, though? Now, listen, okay, let's stop with the Sargon retardation, right? Like, Sargon is a very smart man, okay? I'll put it this way. He's a very intelligent guy. But unfortunately, he went to a university, and they fucked with his brain. And he didn't just go to a university, he went to a British university, okay? They mind-fucked him there. And this is why he now talks in weird ways. It's like, oh, the Mooner Longhouse. And it's like, and then he starts quoting philosophers and shit. Listen. Ideologies do not shape societies. Societies, because they require certain things, create ideologies that fit what is required. And so, liberalism happens during the colonial era when you had a strong merchant class that wanted to trade. That's it. Okay? So because you have, like, the merchants, that you have, like, the East India Trading Company, and you have the middle class growing, the Black Death killed most of the peasants, and now the peasants, for the first time ever, they have money. Everyone wants to be left the fuck alone, right? The king needs to stay in his castle. Leave me the fuck alone. I will trade. All right? This is why liberalism gets adopted. It doesn't get adopted because, like, some people generally thought, hey, this is a good idea. No, it's like, people are doing this. How can we justify what they're doing, so they keep doing? Communism. In Soviet Russia, during World War I, people genuinely didn't understand, why is my son getting killed? Why am I dying from a famine? What the fuck is the king doing? They would look at the factories. The factories were actual death cults back then. Like, for those of you who don't know, a factory in World War I, especially during high production, meant that you had to work 16 hours a day and you get almost no pay. All right? And so within that system, it's like, how do we take down the monarchy? How do we stop the people doing this to us? And so they use communism because it's an ideology that works. All right? In medieval time, how do you get people to not rebel against the king? Like you have the pagan emperor Diocletian basically saying that if you work the land, you're now tied to the land. And so from a Roman citizen, you become a serf. And now that serf has to constantly pay protection money to the ex-Roman officers that then become end up becoming the aristocrats. And how do you keep that peasant from not rebelling? Well, the king is sent by God, right? Like Jesus Christ himself anointed the king, and now he's there, and if you rebel against the king, it's a sin. So just shut the fuck up, work the land, pay 10% to the church, pay the rest to the king, and when there's war, you're still going to pick up a sword and you're going to fight, okay? So like all the ideologies are created specifically to keep the society in line. Now, the question is, what ideology do we have in 2026? Well, in 2026, you have an explosion of people. Like never before in human history did we have so many people alive like we do now. Never before in any human history did we have people that can pull up a smartphone and actually fact check and look at any information available, right? Never before in human history do you have someone from Africa getting in a plane and now is in Europe. And so like technology has advanced to such levels and people are so numerous. And so the question is like, what ideology do we have? It's not liberalism, by the way. It's algorithm-based ideology. It's whatever the fuck the ruling class needs you to believe right now. If the ruling class wants you to be a liberal, they will push liberalism. If the ruling class wants you to go to war with Russia, they will push imperialism. You don't even fucking notice it. Oh, goodness gracious, like we're all about freedom and, fascism is bad and we hate fascism really bad. And then COVID happens, literal fucking fascism. Show your papers when you go to McDonald's. Every single webcam is now tracking you. You want to get out of your house, get vaccinated. Doctor-patient confidentiality, what the fuck is that? You get arrested for sunbathing, right? Now, you need to have Black Lives Matter. All of a sudden, algorithm shifts. Go out, go protest, cover your face, break down a store. In defense of looting gets promoted. This is the ideology we have now. It's not liberalism. It's literally whatever the fuck the government needs in order to justify whatever policy they have this year. So yeah, it goes from liberalism, it goes to fascism, it goes to imperialism, it can go to literally whatever the fuck. And you can see how people one day, they're like, stay indoors, keep grandma safe. Literally the next day, Black Lives Matter. And then the day after, stay home while still protest. Like even the contradictory ideologies during the same day. If you have a job, if you have a business, right, you need to stay indoors so that you don't sell stuff, so that you can't operate your business, while people on the streets are breaking your shit, and you're not allowed to shoot them because then you get like a Kyle Rittenhouse. And so, like, no, we don't have liberalism. I don't think liberalism failed. I think liberalism just stopped being useful. And so they moved on to, like, I guess, like the digital era. This is the ideology we have now. It's the internet, the algorithm ideology. I'm talking like a leftist? What, like leftists are against COVID? I don't think leftists are against COVID. Anarcho-tyranny? I don't even think it's that. Anyway, SRC Maker, thank you for the $10. I'm not a real woman, I know it. I'm fine calling myself trans women because that's what I can never be, a real woman, and that's okay. And don't get me started on Dev and this trans takes. Oh my goodness. This is academics, agents, elite theory, basically. Again, like, the reason it has to be this way, and I don't think it will ever be another way, is because no other ideology that was ever made in human history can account for the number of people we have. Like, listen, if you have a monarchy, right? Like, it cannot work. The system of monarchy and the feudalism that you had in 1300, it cannot work for 100 million people. It just can't. Like, people will start reading books, they will have different things, different opinions, they rise up, they do malicious compliance. You cannot do that. you probably can't have liberalism either if you have 300 million people. Because like 300 million people, again, they start engaging, they start communicating, they would immediately vote authoritarianism to take over. And so the only system that you do have is the system of algorithm censorship. And they've been perfecting it. Like right now, if you look at YouTube, you'll see that most people that are popular, even Asmongold, even Hassan Piker, every single one, they're usually paid by a corporation. Like they usually have like some sort of corporate media behind them. And if you trace it upwards, you would see that an NGO pays money for that media. And eventually like someone at the top is a politician. And so back in the day, you'd have like people that were censored for their takes. Now you have people that are boosted for their takes. And so your social media feed is just swamped by the people that are being paid. It's kind of like race cars, you know, where you have like the race car pilot that's really good, but he's got like 5 or 6 corporations sponsoring him. Well, it's the same thing here. Instead of race cars, you have people that talk about politics, and they have 5 or 6 different NGOs that are sponsoring them. Anyway, yes, I will never know the gazebo, unfortunately. The madness in the last few years made me think not a single trans would be watching V. Anyway, right. I will, Silver String Media, I think, pays Asmongold. Like, Asmongold is connected to Silver String Media. Unless he left, I'll have to check. And Silver String Media takes money from NGOs. There was an example when Asmongold had the take about Palestine, and immediately he was backtracking, right? Just kind of weird. Because, like, usually Asmongold doesn't backtrack on stuff he says, but probably the people at Silver String Media told him, it's like, well, you can't say this. And he was like, okay, I can't say that. It is what it is. I'm not blaming him or anything. Like, he's playing the game like everyone else. It's fine. Anyway, chat. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.